The question about the factor and the remainder theorem. And remember, what happens here is if you want to find the remainder when something is divided by a particular factor like this, in general, if you divide your f of x, which is your polynomial, if you divide f of x by x minus a, then what you should find is that f of a is equal to the remainder. And what that also means is if you divide by x minus a and there is no remainder, then it means that x minus a will be a factor. Okay, so let's have a look at the first bit. The first bit says, here is our f of x. Find the remainder when f of x is divided by x minus 1. Well, the remainder is just going to be f of 1. So I'm going to put 1 instead of x into the polynomial. So it's 1 cubed minus 4 lots of 1 squared plus 1 plus 6. Well, that's just 1 minus 4 plus 1 plus 6. Well, that's 8 take away 4, which comes out as 4. So the remainder, when you divide this polynomial by x minus 1, the remainder will be 4. Now, part 2 says, show that x minus 3 is a factor. Now, if x minus 3 is a factor, then it should be the case, and I would write this, if x minus 3 is a factor, then f of 3 should equal 0. So I'm now going to find f of 3, so I'm going to put 3 into the same function. So I'm going to get 3 cubed minus 4 lots of 3 squared. Be really careful and make sure you show every step here to show that question. Plus 3 plus 6, well that comes out as 27. Take away 4 lots of 9 plus 3 plus 6, well that's 27 minus 36 plus 3 plus 6, which is minus 9 plus 9, which equals 0. Okay, so we've now shown that f of 3 is equal to 0. Therefore, x minus 3 is a factor. You must write that conclusion. Don't just write f of 3 equals 0. You won't get that. You won't get both of the marks. Right, it now says, hence, solve the equation f of x is equal to 0. Right, we have just discovered that for our polynomial, we know that x minus 3 is a factor. So we know for our original polynomial, so we know that for x cubed minus 4x squared plus x plus 6, we know that that must equal x minus 3 multiplied by something. Okay, because the x minus 3 we know divides exactly into this. Now, it doesn't take too much to be able to figure out what goes in this bracket. So we're going to, this must be x squared because we've got x cubed, which must come from doing x multiplied by x squared. This number, this 6, comes from doing this number here multiplied by this number here. So this must be minus 2, which leaves us an x term to go in the middle. Now, if we look at our x squared term, our x squared term comes from doing this multiplied by this. Well, that gives us minus 3x squared. And then our other term comes from doing x multiplied by this term here. Well, what we actually need is minus 4x squared. This then must just be minus 1 because we've then got x multiplied by minus x, which gives us minus x squared. And altogether, that gives us our minus 4x squared. So now we can see that our polynomial is equal to x minus 3, and now we should be able to factorize this quadratic. And I can see quite easily we've got, if I put an x there and an x there, I can have a 2 and a 1. That's going to have to be negative and that's positive to give me minus 1x in the middle here, which means that we have then got that factorized. Now what I'm being asked to do is solve the equation where f of x, where this function is equal to 0. So if I now put that equal to 0, I've got these three brackets multiplied together equaling 0, which means that either the first bracket has to be 0, which would give us x is 3, or the second bracket has to be 0, which means that x would be 2, or x plus 1, the third bracket would be 0, which would give us the value minus 1. So x could be 3, or 2, or minus 1.